It's been a long time since I've had professors. I'm usually the one in those shoes. So it's going to be interesting transitioning to the Padawan. Well, it's just a reference to the biggest film franchise ever. What do you mean only one of the Star Wars movies is in the top 10? No, last time I looked, all three of them were in the top 10 grossing movies of all time. Which one's in the top 10? What is The Force Awakens? Is that one of those TV shows? Barbie. A movie about Barbie grossed more than 8 Star Wars films? Did you know this? And did you also know that there were more than 3 Star Wars films?
Not to mention the spin-off movies and TV shows.
TV shows?
Hello.
Nice to finally meet you, Dunning. We're so happy with the way this first season turned out.
We love the creative ways y'all are helping get the word out about what Lutherans believe.
Yes, well, thank you for having me as part of the project. One thing, did you know there were Star Wars TV shows? Am I really that out of touch?
Yeah, on Disney Plus app, right?
Disney Plus? What in the world is that? Is that a station on cable TV? Star Wars on Disney?
Okay, we can go through the Star Wars filmography after this episode. Now, Sarah and Chris, you had a question for Dunning?
Yes, please. I'm sorry. What question do you have for me today? Not sure I'll have the perfect answer, but I'm sure I'll come up with something relevant.
We went with a simple one. What is the relationship between faith and reason?
You know, Star Wars taught me so much about my faith and strengthened it over the course of my childhood. I mean, Darth Vader watched his son's life being drained by the Emperor's power. Vader puts himself in the way. He absorbs the Emperor's wrath and saves Luke in the process, but dies as a result. He pays the ultimate price so that his child may live. Sure sounds a lot like what God himself did through Jesus Christ, absorbing the full extent of evil so that we, his children, might live.
Sorry, Chris and Sarah. Dunning has Star Wars on the brain. Can you share what the relationship is between faith and reason?
Sure. And thanks for the Star Wars analogy. Certainly is food for thought.
As the Apostle Paul says in Romans 10, faith comes through hearing. In other words, faith comes from a word spoken to you by God, not from an internal dialogue, examination, or deliberation.
Reason, on the other hand, is an internal dialogue, examination, or deliberation. In fact, the devil's temptation in the garden was to use reason to examine the fruit, to look at it.
In other words, to stop listening to God's word. So, reason and faith are as far apart as the east is from the west.
As far as Tatooine is from Belkadon. Couldn't have said it better myself.
So, Pastor Tim said, you might be joining us at Luther House of Study. We'd love for you to join one of our classes tomorrow online.
I would love to share more thoughts on how our faith relates to the Star Wars trilogy.
There are so many more than 3.
I'll be sure to check out the others before tomorrow's lecture.
Well, I don't think the class is quite ready for that discussion, but if you'd like to listen into the class we already have scheduled for tomorrow, we'd love to have you.
May the spires keep you.
May the spires be with you as well.